that. The Rockies won the season series last year 10-9 against San Francisco, and so far this year the Rockies have won 7 of the 12 ball games played. The Rockies play well against the Giants.
They play well for whatever reason. I mean, they went into San Francisco early in the season, played really well there. They come back here, and it's just like Bruce Bochy said, I never feel comfortable in this park, regardless of the lead I have going into the 8th and 9th inning. And that's where his bullpen, which has been really good, is going to have to utilize that.
Absolutely. Well, we talked to Walt Weiss earlier tonight about the Giants and how it seems to bring out the best in his club.
They're always good games when we get together with these guys, whether it's at their place or here. And I mean, hey, let's be honest. They're the standard in the National League right now. They've won 3 World Series in 5 years. So if that doesn't bring out the best in you, there's something wrong with you.
Well, one of the things we've learned about the Rockies, obviously they do not have the record they'd like to have, George, but they play hard every night, and they always show up when there's a challenge in front of them. There's a challenge right now with 4 games with San Francisco.
You know what? I think you owe it to your clubhouse, you owe it to yourself as a player, regardless of your record, to go out and perform and take a little pride in knocking that guy out, whether it's San Francisco Giants, Los Angeles Dodgers, it doesn't matter. Take pride doing that.
Yeah, that's why I love how Walt said that just now, that his club will show up. That's the kind of club he has. So it's the Rockies and Giants. Chris Russin, Ryan Vogelsong. Come on back to Coors Field with us. Delayed only by about 20 minutes. We are set for baseball at 20th and Blake. It's the first of 4 between the Rockies and San Francisco Giants. They will conclude 2015 at AT&T Park, taking on the Giants. Giants got in the middle of the night last night after losing a 2-1 affair at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. They had a tying run at second base in that 9th inning, and Clayton Kershaw struck out Marlon Byrd on a beautiful slider, his 132nd pitch. There's Angel Pagan. He'll lead things off for Bruce Bochy tonight. And here's the rest of Bochy's lineup, presented by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Young kid out of Texas Tech, Kelby Tomlinson, playing second base for Joe Panik. He'll bat second. Matt Duffy, what an extraordinary rookie year. He'll bat third. You'll know all about Buster Posey, career .371 hitter against the Rockies. Recently acquired Marlon Byrd. He's driven in a lot of runs so far for San Francisco. Hector Sanchez will do the catching. Juan Perez in left field. A-Ray Adrianza for an injured Brandon Crawford at shortstop. And the 38-year-old pitcher will be Ryan Vogelsong. Well, Chris Russin's out of the University of Kentucky. Fastball and cutter primarily.
Primarily in his career against San Francisco, he's pitched very well. 13 1/3 with a 135 earned run average. He has walked 3, struck out 7. 4-7 on the year. Left-handers, right-handers both hit about 300, but he does create a lot of ground ball outs. I like the quick pitch. I like everything he's done so far for the Rockies in 2015.
So we're ready to go, and here is the first delivery of the ball game. On the outside corner, strike one, as indicated by Pat Hoberg. And Pat generally has a fairly generous zone east and west. Pagan has battled injuries all year.
I don't think there's anybody on their team that hasn't.
No, it's one of those situations where the Rockies dealt with their own injuries this year and a ton of them last year. Honestly, to win a championship, George, in any sport, you won one in baseball and you lost one in baseball, you do have to have some good fortune.
Well, you have to have good fortune, number one. Number two, it seems like every year the Giants come up with one guy. Right now it's Tomlinson. He's hit 300, stealing a lot of bases. Marlon Byrd, you know, the guys that do the jobs that you don't think they're going to do. Then all of a sudden they just show up and they play great baseball. Duffy at third base. And you go, man, where was this guy? I didn't read him in top 30 prospect. I didn't read him as a guy that's going to be a prominent player at the big league level. And then they find him.
You know, they do have a knack for doing it. So do the St. Louis Cardinals. All the entries the Cardinals have had, they're 40 games over 500. But Duffy this year, and last year was Joe Panic. Talk to people like Bruce Bochy. Said we don't win a World Series without Joe Panic last year.
And they don't. You know, and I don't think they win one without Jake Peavy and Tim Hudson and some two older veteran guys.
Good pitch. Nasty slider.
Well, that's that back foot slider when you're ahead in the count.
So Pagan is gone, and that'll bring up Kelby Tomlinson.
Well, where you're trying to bury it, you can see he buried it well right on the back foot where it comes across the plate and down. If you hit that, it's coming off the shin or foul.
Going to be an owie if you hit that. Ben Paulson, that's not a misprint. He's getting to start in left field tonight. Charlie's in center. Cargo, of course, is in right. Willeen Rosario is going to be at first base, and then familiar grouping in the infield with Nick Hundley behind the plate. And that pitch is inside on Kelby Tomlinson. Well, this kid has had some big hits already in a month in the big leagues. He can really run.
49 stolen bases at the AA level a year ago. He's out of Elgin, Oklahoma. That's down by Lawton, Oklahoma.
I told you that, didn't I, George?
We talked about that. That's right. He went to Seward County, which is up in Kansas, very prominent junior college baseball. Then he went on to Texas Tech. 12th round draft pick.
There's a strike, 2-1.
Looks kind of like the professor, doesn't he?
A little bit. A little bit. You know, when I saw him earlier around BP, not quite the same glasses, but I was thinking Chris Sabo.
Exactly.
Right?
That's a great comparison.
2-2.
In facial. That's a great comparison.
I mean, does he not look like, you know who he looks like? There's a kid, and I hope he's watching, named Sam, who plays with my youngest, Gabe, on their 12-year-old baseball team. He looks like Sam, and he only looks like a year older than Sam.
Better try to run that cutter in on his hands. They do. He doesn't swing it.
3-2. Matt Duffy, we were just talking about the impact he has had on the Giants this year.
You know, Boach was talking about they got into the air finally at the hotel about 4 o'clock this morning.
On the outside corner. Told you that Pat Hoberg has a pretty fair zone east and west, and that did catch the top of the corner. Here goes Boach again.
Yeah, not happy at all about the strike zone. Boach barking. It's the second hitter of the game. Did he have a reason to bark? They wanted this pitch over on the inside corner. It does catch the back end of the strike zone on the forward strike zone. They just kind of watched where it came to. It got plenty of plate. It wasn't too high.
2 strikeouts to begin for Chris Russin, and here's the rookie out of Long Beach State. He gets quick pitch by Russin. Matt Duffy takes ball 1. 302 average for Duffy. He's become like the only fixture in their lineup with all of the injuries. Pence has been in and out all year. Pagan's been in and out all year. Panic's been beat up. Crawford's dealt with injuries. He's got a calf injury right now. He got hit on the calf 2 nights ago at Dodger Stadium. The one constant for Bochy's been this rookie. 2 balls and a strike on Matt Duffy.
Big numbers. You can see that among the rookies. 302 average. Herrera, Tomas.
We just saw Tomas. Well, sort of. We saw him in the dugout. He doesn't even play much anymore.
5 innings and a pinch hit. That was it.
2-1. And that ball's in the air to Ben Paulson in left field. Very nice start. A couple of punch outs and a 1-2-3 beginning for Chris Russell. We'll see the Rockies with the bats when we come back. Naturally, he's going to lead things off for the Rockies. And let's take a look at the rest of Walt's lineup. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Jose Reyes will bat second. Cargo coming off a career-high 7 RBI night yesterday. Another 2 home run ball game as well for Cargo. Nolan Arenado has gone off of late also. He homered yesterday. DJ LeMahieu will bat 5th. Then Paulson. Willeen Rosario, good numbers against Vogelsong. Nick Hundley will bat 8th, and then Chris Russin. And it is the 38-year-old Ryan Vogelsong. And never been pretty when he's pitched here, George.
It hasn't been, but yet he sustains at times. 33 overall record with a 663 earned run average. This year he's won 9 games again. 124 2/3. He's had 1 start against the Rockies in San Francisco. That was a 2-hit shutout that he threw against Colorado there. His career 6-3 in 12 ball games.
Vogelsong was an all-star back in 2011. He went 13-7 with a 2.71 ERA. That was after playing in Japan for 3 years.
That didn't happen over here. As the #1 draft pick, he went to Japan, pitched well, made some money, came back here and made their ball club as a non-roster invitee. So to speak, the rest is history.
(2-0) on Charlie. And that's hard on the ground. Fair ball, and another base hit for Blackman, leading off a ball game. Posey just could knock it down.
Posey's thinking it was a foul ball. And it wasn't foul at all. It was well inside the bag. When he dove for it, it was curving, yeah, about 25 feet behind the bag.
4 out of the last 5 games, George, he has led the game off with a hit. And Boch is hot about a lot of things lately. His team has lost 5 straight games. He wants to talk to Jim Joyce about something.
I think
it's where it went over the bag. It's not that Posey probably contacted that ball in foul territory. Once it goes over the bag fair, that's what Jim Joyce is looking at.
Joyce, and that's all Boats is saying. Just ask for some help from Holberg, Pat Holberg, the home plate umpire.
Not much of a discussion there. So a leadoff single for Blackman, and that'll bring up Jose Reyes.
It looks fair ball to me. Charlie, 36 stolen bases on the year. Reyes going to test up. The other night he showed bunt. Everybody thinking, all right, you're going to swing away. Next pitch he bunted.
He's 3 for 9 lifetime against Vogelsong. Career .299 hitter against the Giants. 1-0 on Jose. 3 for 4 yesterday. Scored 3 runs. Since August 18th, he's hitting .333 in a Rockies uniform. He's hit 15 of his last 20. He takes the bunt with the Vogelsong. He's going to make the play. It'll be a sack. Didn't quite bunt it hard enough, but a good idea by Reyes. So with a man on second, here comes Carlos Gonzalez. Time now for the big hit presented by Mako. Turn the car you drive into the car you love. A couple of big hits last night, but the biggest was the Rockies were down 4-3, and that slider went 458 feet off the facade of the second deck. Grand slam for the Rockies, and Cargo 7-4 lead. He'd add a 2-run home run later on in the evening. Again, a career high 7 RBIs. And he's trying to give the Rockies a quick jump against Ryan Vogelsong. This ball deep to left field, way back, stay fair, stay high, Cargo, number 34. He was serious, I guess, about that competition with Arenado. Wow. 2-0 Colorado.
82 RBIs now for Carlos Gonzalez on the year to go along with that 34th home run.
You know what he is, George? He's a freak.
No, you know what he is? He's red hot. Yes, I mean, don't touch too long, you'll burn your fingers. He wanted the ball down and away and sink it away from him. Caught the center of the plate, the long swing, the powerful swing, opposite field for Carlos Gonzalez up the tunnel, fair by about 20 feet in that tunnel.
And here's Nolan.
I can do, you can do better.
That's about where we're at. This ball in the hole, base hit. I'll tell you something really interesting that you may not have been aware of, and I didn't even get to this note because Cargo hit the first pitch he saw out of the ballpark. Do you know, just one of those deals, Cargo in his career against Ryan Vogelsong prior to that swing, 1 for 17.
Yeah, figure that out, huh? Probably feeling pretty good, Vogelsong was. Hey, I'll get him a little ground ball, strike out here. Oops. Look where that pitch is and how far away and how squared up it was. All that on your Subaru Supermo.
So Cargo's last 3 at bats, all home runs. Grand slam, 2-run home run, 2-run home run. DJ takes a strike.
Vogelsong, when he came back from Japan, and you see the numbers, the home run leaders, 2 Rockies at the top. When he came back from Japan, he was 95, 96 miles an hour with his fastball. With all the innings mounting up in his age, and pitch anywhere from 90 to 93, touching 94 now.
DJ fouls it off. I want to show you an interesting graphic we put together for tonight. Cargo had 4 home runs, Frage, on June 1st. Here's the guys that ended up leading their respective leagues in home runs but got off to slow starts. First 2 months of the season, Rudy York had 2 home runs, finished with 34 back in 1943. Ralph Kiner, Hall of Famer, in 47, 3 home runs the first 2 months. He ended up hitting 51 to lead the National League. Mickey Mantle with the 58 Yankees. We'll go back to the graphic right now. The 58 Yankees had 4 home runs like Cargo did the first 2 months, ended up leading the league at 42. Cargo, the reason those 3 are in yellow, Cargo's already out-homered everybody else on the list. He had 4 on June 1st. He now has 34.
But how about this? And this is kind of surprising, too. You're talking about the home runs. That's huge. But think about this. He had 8 home runs, now, or 8 RBIs. Now he's got 10 RBIs in the month of September. It took him till May 14th to have 8 RBIs.
It's really amazing. And there are very few guys. Guys can get hot, but there are very few guys that can sustain it at this level for a long period of time. He is a special, unique talent, and really it took him a while to get his legs back underneath him this year after missing a good portion of last year and the surgery on the knee. But George, he's the same guy we watched in 2010. There was there was a base hit by LeMahieu. You know, he was one of the 5 or 6 best players in the game that year.
I would agree, and it's the offense, defense, it's the total package right now. If there's one thing missing, and it's only because of the knee injuries, is stolen bases. Then he's not going to take that kind of a risk.
And quite honestly, you don't want him to right now. You need his bat, or you need him stealing 20 bags. Juan Perez defensively will be in left field for the Giants. Angel Pagan in center. Marlon Byrd in right. Matt Duffy at third. A-Ray Adrianzas at shortstop for Brandon Crawford. Kelby Tomlinson for Joe Panik at second. Posey plays first when he doesn't catch. Hector Sanchez has the gear on. Rockies have come out blistering hot against Ryan Vogelsong. 2 runs, 4 hits already. And if not for a nice play by Vogelsong on the bunt by Reyes, there wouldn't be anybody out. Here's Ben Paulson.
Well, another that ball going to get right out in front. They'll have 1 play at first base. You know, you mentioned, and we brought this graphic up at a rehearsal today. I thought it was interesting that DJ LeMahieu leads all major leagues with 41% of hits to the opposite field. Well, first time up today, what happens? Base hit to right field.
41.1% of the time, he's hit the ball to the opposite field. And that's ahead of Gene Segura, Billy Burns of Oakland, and a guy everybody knows, Joe Mauer, hits the ball quite a bit the other way. But DJ, more than anybody else in the game, has gone oppo. 2 outs, and here's Willeen Rosario. Rosario 5 for 14, 3 home runs against Vogelsong. He takes strike 1. When you have numbers like that against a certain pitcher, you know it, and he knows it.
No, he really does know it. And so, okay, you go back and you study tape. As a pitcher, what can I do differently? What pitch can I give him differently? Okay, starting him off with an off-speed deal. Now they raise the fastball up into the zone to get ahead of 0-2.
Arenado at third, LeMahieu at second with 2 outs. The Rockies up 2-0. 2 strikes on the baby bull. Could get him to chase that time. It's 1-2. Outfield straight up for Rosario. Pagan does not play a deep center field.
See, now this is what happens. You get ahead 0-2. Off-speed fastball up in the zone. You go back fastball up in the zone, but it's so far up that Willeen doesn't. So now I'm going to try to get you to chase the breaking ball out of the zone, and you slowly work that back into that hitter's count. And I honestly, you know, some people say curveball doesn't work here. I think Vogelsong will go to the curveball or slash slurve more than he will the slider, if he's going to get Willeen.
Yeah, about 20% of the time he likes to throw that curveball. 2-2. He goes curveball, and it's lined to right. It's going to score 2. In fact, Willeen thinking about a double. Now he'll shut it down. A 2-run single on the 2-2 breaking ball by Willeen Rosario, and it's 4-0 Colorado.
That curveball, if if it was flat. There wasn't a lot of movement. It was a side move, so it's on the same plane as the bat. Makes it a little easier to hit. I think Willeen read it well, 79 miles an hour. And he just stayed on it. So you can see the grip right out of the hand on the Subaru trying to get up on top of the baseball. I'm going to look for the rotation. It is a 12-6 rotation. It is the curveball. It just didn't curve. He tried to overpower it, which causes the curveball to flatten out here.
Dave Righetti at the mound. The Giants, after that stinging 2-1 loss at Dodger Stadium last night, got into the middle of the night. They'd love to push the reset button right now, but it's not allowed. Nick Hundley, 8th man to hit in the opening frame. Strike on Hundley. Nick was 2 for 4 yesterday, 5 for 13 in the Arizona series, and he has hit Vogelsong well. 3 for 7 with a home run in his career against the 38-year-old.
Pitches, 4 runs, 5 hits. How's that going for you?
Not real well.
Still remember, Drew, 1998 or 99, Matt Manti came into a ball game leading by 2. 7 pitches later, he'd lost the game. Couldn't believe it. Never seen that many Rockets except at 4th of July.
There's a name from the past, Matt Manti.
Hard-throwing closer for the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, not a big guy, but he could bring it. 2-1. Fans, join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts and photos. Use Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and the hashtag Toyota Talk. Willeen at first, a 2-run single a moment ago. 2-2 on Hundley. Up the middle, base hit. 6 hits here in the first. And the Rockies will get the pitcher up in the first frame and gives us a chance to brag on the offensive abilities of Chris Russell.
Yeah, it ain't over no. By any means. 2 outs, let him swing and let him have a little fun. A home run, 4 RBIs. Swinging at well over 200 on the year, 235 average for him. This is fun. Walt's used him numerous times as a pinch hitter this year.
Chris is he's just a really good athlete. Rosario at second, Hundley at first.
Respect showing.
Big time.
Yeah, curveball at 76 miles an hour. 7 of 9 first pitch strikes. It goes back to that old saying that I remember Roger Craig going to mound and he looked at Gene Tennis and goes, "How's he stuffed?" He said, "Oh no, I haven't caught any yet." They're losing 6-0.
Yeah, that's a great line. Back to back curveballs, and it's 0-2. Yeah, Yusmeiro Petit, he's always been their parachute. Something ugly happens early. It's good when your pitcher hits in the first inning.
It's good when the other team's getting a reliever up in the first inning.
That too.
It's going to be a long night. And typically, folks, we mentioned the Giants getting in at 4 o'clock. Typically, that starting pitcher will fly in the morning the day before he starts. He's the only guy that got a good night's rest last night.
The strikeout of Russin ends the inning. The Rockies get 4 runs on 6 hits, and it started with a bang. Cargo, 3rd straight at bat with a home run. 4-0 Rockies.
The Giants landed last night at 3:30 in the morning. Bruce Bochy got tossed out the last 2 straight games. The Giants have lost 5 in a row. I talked to Mike Krukow, San Francisco Giants broadcast, about how they're reeling right now.
They got to fight. They got to scratch. I mean, they just came out of L.A. playing 3 really good games and got beat 1 run in each of those games. And that's tough. To say that they're beat up, well, you can say that about 30 teams right now. It's kind of the nature of the game. Everybody's kind of chewed on. But they do need to get healthy. I think it's key that they get Brandon Crawford back in the lineup, Joe Panik back in the lineup, Hunter Pence back in the lineup. And this could all happen within the next week.
And that's, of course, what Bruce Bochy would love to have, would be having those guys. When the team has Hunter Pence in the lineup, they are 34-17 in their starts. But, yes, losing 11 of 16 straight games, 11 of the last 16 games, this Giants team has been playing pretty tough baseball.
Yeah, and Spilly, you know this, with 29 left and only 4 against the Dodgers, they have to do a whole lot of winning. Boch was talking about it before the ball game. They have to do a whole lot of winning, and they're going to have to get some help probably. I mean, hope the Dodgers play around 500 and they go on one of those stretches where they win 20 out of 29. And that's why the Rockies have a lot to say about the outcome of this division race, playing the Giants 7 times.
Oh, what was it? 2010. The Rockies trailed 1. It was September the 13th, I believe. And the Giants came in here on a Friday night. Ken Lincecum threw a shutout. They won. They won Saturday. They won Sunday. The Rockies lost 13 straight. The Giants went on and won it. It can happen.
0-2 on Posey, and a little weak ground ball. It's a good pickup by Russin. That's what we talk about, his athletic ability, George. That's not an easy play. He falls off to the third base side. Then he's got to go, bend down, a little backhand, and picks it up. Didn't panic.
No, that's the key. He doesn't panic. And he keeps his feet up underneath of him pretty well. He's able to go backhand the ball easy, a little toss to get Posey, who doesn't run well, quite honestly. And I think once Posey saw him get the ball, made things a lot easier.
Guy coming up, good player, productive player for a long time, and he's one of those guys that always finds himself getting moved to a pennant contender, usually around the All-Star break, and that's Marlon Byrd.
Big bat, hit the ball out of the ballpark, play left and right. He's not in the lineup, coming off the bench. Very accomplished bench hitter in his career. He's got 22 home runs, 59 RBIs right now, combined between here and Cincinnati.
In the first 12 games since they acquired him, he's driven in 17. Is that pretty good?
That's pretty good.
Hits this ball well to center field. Charlie going back, and he will have room to make a play. We're right on the edge of the track. So long out, 2 gone.
And he had the most history against Chris Rushing because he had been in the Central, and Chris was playing for the Chicago Cubs.
Who wants tacos? When the Rockies score 7 or more and they're on their way tonight, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6. Get your Rockies taco special at Moss at Taco Bell, and I certainly hope you took advantage of that today. Hector Sanchez back and forth this year between AAA and the big club, and this is going to be on one hop to Reyes. 6 up, 6 set down by Chris Russin. It's 4-0 Colorado, top of the order when we return. By your hometown Toyota stores. Let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. You ever tried that paddle boarding, George?
No.
You ought to. It was fun.
No, you've never done it.
I have.
No,
I have
you
done
haven't.
it. I did not
Let me tell you what.
last year.
On your old skateboard at home in the bathtub does not count.
No, I don't like skateboards, so I don't keep those around. But I've done that paddle boarding. Pretty nice. Beautiful night. Rockies are having a pretty night also. They're up 4-0 after 1 at bat. Charlie Blackmon began the first inning with a base hit. He's done that in 4 of his last 5 games. He would come around to score on a cargo opposite field 2-run home run. Round 2 for Vogelsong. Here's the 0-1. Curveball's outside, 1-1. Buster's going to grab this one out. And that'll bring up Jose Reyes. Dodgers are down in San Diego a little later on this evening, starting a 4-game set with the Padres. Outside on Reyes. Jose tried to take a bunt with him last inning. It turned into a sacrifice bunt. It's lined and Posey 2 outs. Well, last 3 at bats been pretty productive for Carlos Gonzalez. Grand slam, 2-run home run, and then in the first inning tonight, a 2-run home run to left.
Crazy.
Special talent, 34 home runs, 82 driven in. And again, he was 1 for 17 in his career against Vogelsong prior to that home run. Billy did a great piece before the game on the pregame show with Nolan and Cargo in the clubhouse.
He challenged him with a fastball that first at bat, and he hit it out to left field. A couple of breaking balls here. Always felt good fastball hitters. I always thought about go slow, slow, and slower. Instead of slow, fast, they'll adjust to the heater. They're coming inside.
2-1. He hit a home run in 4 straight at bats. 3-1. This ball sliced to left, won't be a home run, but it should be a double. How about the approach, George?
I marvel when he's hot of how good a hitter he is, how great a hitter he is. 3-1 count. Tried to bust him in with a fastball, missed with a fastball away, misses here with a fastball at 94 miles an hour. There's the late kicks Billy was talking about in the beginning of this show today. But everything works together for Carlos Gonzalez. It was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, late swing, left field rocket for a double.
And here's Nolan. Nolan had a base hit through the left side. His first at bat would score on a 2-run single by Rosario. You know, from a pitcher standpoint, George, that's not a bad pitch.
Well, the only thing is, when you got a guy like him swinging, Drew, you don't miss middle plate. You can't. You just give the walk up. You know, and that ball, it floated over the middle of the plate, and it becomes pretty hittable for Cardinal. If it's not got any sink on it, you get a chance to go crush it. Oh, Nolan. Oh. He liked that.
He was right on that. That was center.
That's in the happy zone, folks. Yeah, I mean, you know, they're trying to come inside. You can see Sanchez's glove trying to come under the hands, and then when you see that catcher's glove reach back to the middle, it's typically you see Nolan facial expressions. Give me that one more time.
And this is in the air to Bird and right. He makes the catch. Cargo stranded at second base. 2 innings complete. Rockies up 4-0. They have out-hit the Giants 7-0. Rockies up 4-0, and Chris Russin's been outstanding thus far. As we go to the top of the third, Juan Perez will lead things off. And joining us for a little bit tonight is the general manager of the Rockies, Jeff Bridich. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I imagine right now you feel pretty good about your right fielder and the good start, huh?
So far, so good. It's been a good game.
He is really unique in the game of baseball. There's a lot of talented guys, obviously. This is the best league in the world.
Right.
But he has the ability to do some things that very, very, very few guys can do.
Well, 5-tool major league player. Right?
Yeah.
And you know, his injury, his knee injury last year, certainly over the past couple years, really, that been bugging him, and finally needed the surgery. I mean, that robbed one of his tools, you know, and that affected his ability, obviously, to run around the bases and stretch singles into doubles and doubles into triples. It affected his play in the outfield at times. So you could, you know, watch tape of him last year in the second half, especially hobbling around the outfield. But he's healthy again, and he's showing the 5 tools again.
Yeah, he can stay on the backside. And I talked to him about this the other day. He thinks maybe one day he'll run again, but he just wants to make sure, get through this year and make sure the legs are healthy. But the tear he's on, again, there's very few players in the game that can do that sort of damage over a couple of month period.
He's been that type of player his whole career, right? With us, he's certainly a guy that can carry you, and just literally carry a team for weeks at a time. And a lot of RBI, a lot of base hits, and a lot of good baseball. And he still has a lot of good baseball in him.
Absolutely. Juan Perez wiped out going from second to third. Good break for the Rockies, because I think he easily would have had a triple. So the first base runner for the Giants, a leadoff double in the third by Perez. What is on your menu right now? It's September as we look at this replay, but or I guess we'll bang the replay. But what's on your menu right now as a general manager with your inner circle? What are you focused on right now in these few weeks?
Some things don't change. Some things stay the same in terms of our evaluations and the things that we keep track of on a daily, weekly, monthly basis specific to our team. Something specific to the NL, something specific to the league as a whole, and how we measure up. A lot of things scouting-wise, from both an amateur and a professional perspective. There's still a lot of scouting to be done, and so those things don't change. But based on where we're at now, and sitting here 24 games under, as difficult as that is, one thing it does do is provide an opportunity to see a number of our younger players, or guys that haven't had a lot of time up here this year, that are on the roster, and we'll get to see what they have for us here over the next few games.
Well, you brought up some guys, and a lot of people were excited about maybe seeing a Trevor Story. Is that a possibility, or is that more something that is still spring training next year type of thing?
Well, we're going to let the AAA season end, and then we'll make a final determination. There are roster spot considerations, and there's more to it that goes in. It's not as simple as it might seem. So, but we'll let things finish up, and then we'll make our final decisions. After the 7th, once the AAA season's done.
When you have a season, and the Rockies have had, unfortunately, a few in a row like this, where you're going to lose 90-plus games in all likelihood, sometimes you say, oh man, the whole thing is broken. When in fact, when you look at a DJ LeMahieu, you look at a Nolan Arenado, you look at your right fielder who we were just talking about, there's some pieces there. From your perspective, how far away, and I know you can't look in a crystal ball and say, hey, this is when we're going to be a 90-plus win team again, but how far away do you think it can be if you get some breaks on the mound?
Well, I think there are two different answers to that. I think to be the type of team at this level that we desire to be and expect to be, which is a 90-plus win team, it's tough to say that we're just one or two simple moves away from that, right? I think there's a different reality. But if you look at the second answer to it, you look at the reality of the second wild card and how our playoffs are structured now, you don't have to be a 95-win team to get into the playoffs. You can be a mid to high 80s win team and fighting your butt off every day down the stretch here in August, September, and have legitimate chances to win. And so there's kind of that two different realities there.
Sure.
And I think you have to respect both. And I think ultimately we're aspiring to be that 90+ win team, you know, for year after year. And it still might take a little bit of time to do that.
So much of it, Jeff, to me, has always been, I call it baseball symmetry. You can have the position players, and maybe you're short on the mound, or maybe you have a really nice staff, but you're short in your ability to score runs.
Yep.
And it all has to come together to some degree.
Yep.
Well, that's a pretty good swing by Vogelsong, deep right center field. He just hit it out. Madison Bumgarner didn't jump in his uniform, did he?
Wow.
Ryan Vogelsong, who came in hitting 113, just went oppo, 2-run home run. And he gives the Giants a big-time lift here in the third. That was not expected. In the battle of pitchers tonight and their exploits at the plate, you give a big advantage going into Chris Russin. Watch Russin's reaction. He knew he hung a
bad pitch.
Yeah, he hung it out over the plate. And now it's 4-2 with one out, and Angel Pagan coming up. But you guys look at that, the baseball symmetry part, where you look and you say, okay, you know, this guy's going to be a free agent in 2 years. This guy's going to be a free agent in 2 years. Our pitching is still real young, and we're trying to push it along. How do you overcome that?
Philosophically, it really comes down to your philosophy. I mean, overcoming it is one thing, you know, in one way of looking at it, but utilizing that and knowing what you have and how you might take advantage of it is another. I think the Astros are a pretty good example of that. The Astros are a very young team, and there's a lot of guys that are learning together at the major league level on that team, and they believe in that, and they've figured out ways to make that work for them.
And they've gotten some guys who aren't necessarily power guys to lead their staff. Colin McHugh had a cup of coffee here briefly. Dallas Keuchel's been lights out. They don't light up a radar gun, either one of those two guys.
Right. No, they don't. And they pitch and they execute pitches, and they change speeds, and they disrupt hitters' timing and balance. And you know, there's defensively they shift like crazy.
Yep.
More so than any other organization in the game. And they think they found some things that make sense for them in terms of how they've tried to put together that team. You know, it's a team that strikes out a lot. It's a team that hits a lot of home runs, but they also walk a lot, and they have a lot of high on base percentage. And you know, so it's not like they have 25 perfect players all the time.
Right.
The combination works, and it can work for us. It has in the past. Look at 07.
From a starting pitching standpoint, peeking ahead, this is going to be another base hit. Pagan a base hit, now Kelby Tomlinson a base hit. So Russin, as good as he was the first two, scuffling here in the third. 2 runs in, 2 men on, and Matt Duffy coming up, one of the best looking rookies in the game this year. Where's the organization right now from a starting pitching standpoint, looking forward to having some impact guys, you know, that you can run out every 5th day at this level?
Some of those guys are on a DL. Tyler Chatwood threw 2 innings yesterday, his first competitive in-game type of scenario in a long time. It's good to see. He feels great today. So, I mean, there's positives there. And Jordan Lyles continues to have freakish type of injuries, and he's really done pretty well when he's been healthy. It's just that he hasn't been healthy all that much. It's been a tough go with some odd injuries. So those are the 2 names looking forward. You know, breaking John Gray into the bigs this year. You know, and obviously there's limitations on what he's going to do this year, but all that is in preparation for his future. You know, still Eddie Butler, Tyler Anderson, who is getting healthy and going to have a chance to compete as a starter next year. He's a legitimate strike thrower and a winner. You know, there's more that we can talk about later. I mean, there's younger guys, the Hoffmans, the Senzatellas, Freeland. I mean, there's Musgrave. There's guys that are developing and you know, possibly coming onto the scene here that are at our highest levels.
All right, you know, we'll pick up on that subject when we come back. Rockies up 4-2. Ryan Vogelsong a 2-run home run, and now the Rockies lead is just 2. It's 4-2. DJ, a base hit his first time up. He's hitting out of the 5 spot tonight. He's got another base hit. Man, oh man, is he worn out right field this year.
Surprise, surprise.
Well, you talk about the good things that have happened this year. He has emerged as not only an all-star, he's a championship caliber player, isn't he?
2 ways, and both. Really, I mean, as smart as a base runner as he is, most of the time, he takes advantage of. He's not the fastest guy in the world, and he takes advantage of taking bases when they're given to him. He reads, he studies. He adds that element to his defense and now his offense. Really, when he's a great example for us of development at the major league level. If you've paid attention, you've seen DJ become a better baseball player in a world, like you said, a world-class baseball player at this level.
I've said this to you before off air. You know what he is? He's a chip on the shoulder guy, and I know you like these guys. You can't have enough for me chip on the shoulder guys.
He is, and you can see a little bit the intensity he plays with whenever we play the Cubs.
Oh,
we go to Wrigley or they come here. He definitely has that element to him, and it's a great thing because that type of element is infectious as well. It can rub off on others.
Absolutely. Continuing with Jeff Bridis. Jeff, before the end of the inning, we were talking about starting pitching. I know it's exciting when you look at some of the arms. This is to third. That's a good pickup. Bad throw by Duffy. And LeMahieu's going to end up at third on the throwing error by Matt Duffy. That went from being a 5-4-3 double play to first and third, nobody out. Did the hard part. Now he's picking up the short hop.
That's why you run hard out of the box, right? As a hitter, you never know. You never know what's going to happen when you put pressure on a defense.
If we get back to the pitching, sometimes people forget. Tyler Anderson, he missed basically all of this year. From a competitive standpoint, he missed all of this year. This is a guy that was arguably the best pitcher in the Texas League last year.
That was the award that he won.
Right.
He was Texas Pitcher of the Year.
So I guess there is no argument then.
Yeah, he's incredibly talented, and I think that taking this season and allowing the arm to heal, as frustrating as that was, I know for him, and as much of a struggle because he's such a competitor. So as much of a struggle as that was for him, it's the right thing to do, and he feels great now, and we're pushing and doing things now to prep for spring training for him.
I know it doesn't, for fans especially, it does not mean anything until you do it at this level and in the context of winning baseball games. You made a huge trade a few weeks ago. That's a better feed, and that's going to get a run home as Relene grounds into a 6-4-3. So the Rockies get a run back. It's 5-2. Troy goes to Toronto, as everybody knows. Jose Reyes comes back. 3 young pitchers. One of them is up here right now. There's 2 Castros in the bullpen. Miguel Castro, 20-year-old, who's got a big-time arm. Jesus Tinoco has been unbelievable in Astros.
He gave up 6 tonight. But
did he?
His ERA is now way up to 1.15.
Okay, well, I mean, they scored 1 run off him, I think, his first 5 starts. Right. And, of course, for the most part, Jeff Hoffman has been very good. Internally, what are your thoughts on those 3 young men? And what you've seen so far with the organization is.
And what we've experienced with them thus far, as human beings, they are as advertised. I think they are very different human beings. They are all very serious about their careers. They are conscientious people and coachable and very invested in becoming as good as they can become as baseball players. And so, obviously I can't say that we expected Tinoco to throw shutouts every single time out when we got him.
Is he better maybe than even the scouting report said, or did you have an inkling that this guy could, again, forget the media, but we read media reports, and it was, I don't want to say he was a throw-in. You guys were making a big deal. You're not just going to take a body. But it was expressed, well, if he gets to the big leagues, probably a back-end starter. And listen, he's an 8-ball right now. We have no idea what he's going to be.
Sure.
But is he surprised a little bit?
I mean, the performance to put up zeros every time out, basically, I mean, nobody expected that. but our reports were pretty good on him. And you know, that's why, you know, when you combine analytics and with traditional scouting, and you weight all of that equally and give it all its due, you may uncover guys that aren't the sexy names out there that actually have a lot of talent, and hopefully that's the case with Tinoco, right? Hoffman was the more well-known name. Castro was already in the big leagues, so everybody knew him. He throws 100 miles an hour. That's sexy. Tinoco's a 20-year-old kid in A-ball, less sexy and less known from, as you said, from a media perspective. Doesn't mean he's not any less talented.
Yeah, to me, it's I don't want to say comical, but somewhat so, that if you're drafted high, you immediately end up on the top 100 lists of, you know, various entities, and you're number 2 in an organization immediately before maybe you've done anything professionally, right, just based on where you were drafted.
You know, it's funny. It actually puts a lot of it can, not for every kid. It's tough to speak for all kids, but it can put a lot of stress and a lot of expectation, undue expectation on a kid. And you know, sometimes with the situation with Hoffman where he got hurt, those, you know, some of those expectations were lessened just because of, you know, he was hurt coming into the draft, got drafted hurt, and people knew he was going to have to rehab and take time, and that's exactly what we're doing.
Good deal. Can we steal you for another half inning? Sure. Good deal. Jeff Bridich is with us. The Rockies get another run. 5-2. They lead as we go to the 4th inning. Continuing on right now, the general manager of the Colorado Rockies, Jeff Bridich, is with us, and you've been good luck charm because you caused an error on Duffy. And
well, they scored 2 while I was here. We got 1 back, so hopefully we can.
Yeah, that's right. You got to get more on the plus side. Is it easier? It's been said that this is so, and I want to hear your thought because you're going to be the man who has to do it. Is it easier to rebuild a bullpen than it is, say, a starting rotation? Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. I think it depends on what you feel like your avenues of talent acquisition are. What realistically, what you focus on, what you stand for, and what your development process is, and how creative you're willing to be, and adventurous at times. You know, sometimes with your own players, and you know, just because a guy's a starter in the minor leagues, you know, it doesn't mean he can't be an effective reliever. And so it's not always more difficult to rebuild a bullpen. I think if you talk to a lot of people, one of the old adages is, oh, if you can't start, you know, bullpen, you know, pitchers are failed starters, right? And you know, that's kind of a negative slant on it, but you know, I think the positive slant is that you know, you're probably doing okay if you run things out with a lot of your own players. And if they're not going to be effective starters in the majors, well, maybe put them in the bullpen. Maybe that's their better spot.
Buster Posey to Nolan Arenado. many times as you've watched him play, do you still shake your head some nights?
You know, I always go back to. I go back to when I was a farm director and Nolan was the first time I got to really focus on him was in his spectacular year at the California League, and then he played in Tulsa and had some struggles in Tulsa, and everybody was flipping out and worried. And one of the great things, when the major league staff and some of our former front office people asked me to comment on him as a third baseman and what do you think, how do you think the defense is, I didn't talk about him being all worldly. One of the great things about him, though, was you could see in the minor leagues he pushed himself to see what he could do defensively. He would do some things that would make you cringe. But he was pushing himself to see, can I make that play? And it wasn't irresponsible as it relates to supporting a pitcher and making sure that he played good defense. It was ranging as far across, and as many times Tula would have been frustrated with him, but trying to see how far he can get over there, to make a play. That's one of the great things about him, because he continues to do that up here in terms of how he practices that position.
Well, I've never seen anything like it, and he does it night after night. And I've said this before, you run out of adjectives to describe just how special he is with the glove.
And part of it, I think people don't realize how difficult it can be at times for these guys they're so ultra competitive to take a bad at bat or a bad game and leave it in the dugout and play defense at an all-star, all-world level. He does that almost every single time he's out there.
The other part of your job, it's a big part of your job, is you're always working on a budget for this year, but you're working on a budget probably 2, 3, I don't even know, 4 years out. He's going to be arbitration eligible for the first time. Cargo in right field has 2 more years. He becomes your most expensive player. He obviously has demonstrated at least what an asset he can be in the middle of a lineup. You're always going to have to field a team that can hit. DJ also. I'm sure there's some guys that you'd like to wrap up and wipe out some free agent years. How difficult a process is that? How realistic a process is it with some of these young guys?
Well, you've seen us. We've done it in the past, certainly.
Yep.
It's not like we are opposed to it. It has been part of our process. It most likely will be going forward. I think that at the end of the day, it always takes 2 to tango. There has to be some level of mutual interest, both the organization's part and the player's part, and there has to be value, true value, that both parties believe in for those sorts of things to happen. So if that's the case, then we certainly are going to continue to explore those types of opportunities.
Great deal. Jeff, appreciate the time as always.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll try to, before the end of the year, sneak it in again. Enjoy the game and stay well.
Thanks for having me.
You betcha. That's Jeff Bridich, of course, the Rockies general manager. Colorado's up 5-2, middle of 4.
Duffy, and when you think about him, you got to think about this Giants offseason that they had, losing Pablo Sandoval, trading for a Casey McGee, and we're talking about a guy that has had an opportunity, an 18th rounder, to get a chance to play. I asked Mike Krukow again to tell me about Matt Duffy.
Matt Duffy isn't on this team. The Giants are probably 10 games under 500, so you get an idea of how important he's been. And this is not a guy that's just going to have 1 year. They're going to adjust to him, and you'll see him fade away. He's a baseball player. He's a gym rat. Gets there early, leave late.
And I think when you talk about the Rookie of the Year, you're going to talk about Chris Bryant. Matt Duffy has to be a name. And when you look at this Giants, you talk about Joe Panik already tonight, Drew. A guy like Matt Duffy, there's a reason why this Giants team is always in the playoff hunt.
Well, it's about winning culture, and Spilly, the team I compared the Giants to, and maybe you should compare the Cardinals right now to the Giants, because the Giants have won 3 of the last 5, but we know what kind of winning tradition the Cardinals have and their championship pedigree. When they bring a guy up, it's not, hey, happy day for me, I'm in the big leagues. There's an expectation you are going to help participate in a win that night, and a win the next night, and a win the following night. Look what Joe Panik meant to that club last year in his first year. Here's Charlie Blackmon with the leadoff base hit by Chris Russin. Ball, 1 strike, but Matt Duffy has certainly taken the league by storm. It's funny how things change in the marathon that is the Major League Baseball season. The first couple of months, I think everybody in the country thought you were just going to mail the Rookie of the Year trophy in the National League to Jock Peterson, courtesy of the LA Dodgers. And, Jock had a great first half, much quieter second half. And this guy, Matt Duffy's been steady Eddie, and he may ultimately take the prize home, but this guy in Chicago has been pretty good too, by the name of Chris Bryant. That's line down the line, fair ball. Chris Russin can run now. Good athlete. Rolls around in the corner. Stu Cole's going to send him home. He'll score standing up. Another triple for Chuck Nasty. And it's 6-2 Colorado. 8th triple of the year for Charlie Blackmon.
Just keep pouring it on, right? 6-2 now, Rockies, after this triple by Charlie Blackmon. Got a ball at 76 miles an hour. The curveball has not been the friend of Vogelsong tonight. Charlie takes it right over the head of Posey down into the corner. A fair ball. Charlie takes the wide turn and heads to third. Makes that round at second. And boy, I tell you what, looks like he's fighting to run. He's a lot faster than you think he is.
Charlie second, tied for second with D. Gordon in the league. In the triples category, David Peralta, who just departed town with 9. Chris Russin, give you an idea how competitive this guy is. And he was hacked off giving up the 2-run home run to Vogelsong. He struck out with 2 men on his first time against Vogelsong. He takes his hitting very seriously. He got this rally started with a line shot up the middle, and then he scores from first. He's not running like a pitcher.
No, he's a very good athlete.
Here's Reyes. Infield's in. The Rockies already have hit double digits in hits. 6 runs, 10 hits. 3+ innings against the veteran Ryan Vogelsong. George Contos is now up in the first inning. They had to get Yusmeiro Petit up. Cargo's on deck.
He's kind of the long man, and they'll hold him back. Give a little bit more time.
Yeah, he's the disaster guy.
Well, expanded rosters, you save back those other guys. This ball will get in the seat.
Reyes battling, 2 strikes. Brian Vogelsong will get his strikeouts here and there, George, but he really doesn't have a swing and miss pitch.
Well, the thing about it, he's trying to get by with the curveball as his off-speed pitch tonight, and it looks like it's starting to curve and then it just hangs. It's staying right in the middle of the plate at 79 to 81 miles an hour. The fastball, he had one at 94 tonight. Showed a pretty good heater a couple of times, but with all of that being said, I just think the curveball is a pitch he's trying to live with a little bit, and it's come back to hurt him too many times. All comes back to the command of the fastball, keeping to the corners. Chris Rushing does a very good job throwing 2 fastballs, and that's
ground ball through the right side. Run scoring hit. Jose Reyes come on down. Charlie Blackmon make it 7-2 Colorado. 13th Rockies RBI for Jose Reyes. That was good at bat.
Good at bat. 47 total on the year now for Jose Reyes.
And that will be all for Vogelsong.
Yeah, Boch is probably going to switch out some guys here, move some people around, and guys on the late night that have been playing every day may get a break here.
So George Contos will come in to face Carlos Gonzalez. Nobody out in the 4th inning for the Rockies. 2 runs already in. When we return, Reyes at first base. Now to Corey Dickerson, back-to-back home runs versus Vogelsong as the Rockies beat the Giants 9-4. Corey Dickerson on a rehab assignment, and the Giants a double switch to try to get some length out of George Contos. The man who made the last out was Hector Sanchez, so he's replaced behind the plate by Andrew Susac. Susac will bat 3rd next inning. Contos will go into Sanchez's spot in the lineup.
Well, he's pitched a lot of innings, 65 with 62 appearances, so he's going to get in here to eat up some innings right now. And obviously feel like and hope that he can give them those innings. You mentioned the rehab start for Corey Dickerson. He's 0 for 1 tonight so far. He was 1 for 4 last night.
So here's Cargo again. Home run and a double tonight. His last 4 at bats, grand slam, 2-run home run, 2-run home run. There's the 2-run home run tonight. And then in his next at bat, he sliced a double to left. Reyes at first. Nobody out in the bottom of the 4th inning with the Rockies ahead 7-2. 11 hits already. There goes Reyes. Pitches a strike, and Jose has swiped second base.
Smart move. You got a catcher that just came into the ball game, not able to throw a lot of throws, and so you steal a bag right out of the chute.
It's Jose's 6th with the Rockies. It's over 20 when you combine his work with Toronto.
Big jump too on the right-hander, and Susac came up firing, but off the mark and really didn't have a chance with the high late kick. You see Jose slide well underneath that tag.
'22nd stolen base overall. A home run against Cantos. Daylight play, and Jose back in standing up.
Cantos' last appearance against the Dodgers on the 31st, a couple of innings. He walked 3, struck out 1. His last win was June 27th versus Colorado.
Outside, 2-1. Chris Russin started this 4th inning rally with a base hit. This ball line to deep right, stay fair, it is gone. Another one. Oh my goodness, is he hot? It's ridiculous. That's his 4th home run in his last 6 at bats.
You know what? When he got 80 last night, I said, well, if he got hot, he might have a shot at 100.
Let me restate that. That's his 4th home run in his last 5 at bats. 4 home runs and a double.
84 RBIs on the year now. This is getting crazy. Oh my goodness. That, folks, was a laser. Yeah, the best part of this, I get a front row seat to watch it.
He's got 11 RBIs in the last game and a third. 4 home runs in his last 5 at bats, and the other one was a double to deep left. Who does that?
Carlos Gonzalez. Oh my gosh. Boy, is that fun.
It's good to be him, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Nolan 1 for 2. There's Madison Bumgarner. He's going to throw Sunday. The reason we're showing him is I had a long conversation with him this afternoon before batting practice, and he unsolicited said to me, he said, you know, my favorite guy to watch swing the bat unless I have to face him? He said, Carlos Gonzalez. Now, you know, Mad Bum's obviously a very accomplished hitter also. He said, I love watching his swing. It's my favorite in the game. And then again, he emphasized, unless I have to go and face him.
Sure.
He just wishes, even though he has a front row seat, that it wasn't coming against his Giants. 9-2 Colorado. How loud was that home run, by the way?
Well, I tell you, I just hope it had enough backspin to get over the wall. Otherwise, it's going to put a dent out there at DraftKings.
This ball's well hit deep left field. And it is over the head of Perez. Arenado into second with another double. And for Nolan, that's his 34th double to go along with 33 home runs. Something about the Giants brings out the best in the Rockies the last couple of years.
Well, I tell you, not a bad pitch either. Slider below the strike zone on the bottom half. Nolan goes down and gets it, drives it to left field. Perez playing relatively shallow for Coors Field. The ball gets around him. Nolan with the hand slap and a little happiness right now.
Doubles leaders, Todd Frazier with 39 and then Nolan with his 34.
I think the Dodgers aren't watching this. They're getting ready to get started out in San Diego.
DJ's 2 for 2, 2 line shots to right naturally. One of the statistics that you heard Jeff Bridich talking about, a combination of good scouting and good use of analytics. Well, OPS is popular with a lot of front office types because it on base percentage, to score runs, you got to have people on base, and then slugging, which is always huge, particularly for the Rockies. 7th and 8th coming into tonight in the National League, Nolan and Carlos Gonzalez. And Cargo with his night probably just edged a little in front of Nolan, but Nolan also has 3 bases tonight with a single and a double. And the Rockies, it's unusual. You have 2 guys in the top 10 in the league in that very important category. There's a couple guys who can hit right there. Three and 1 on DJ.
A lot of excitement in the inning, and it isn't over. There's not an out yet.
This is bounced up the middle, and it's gloved by Adrianza, and that is the first out of the inning. Crossing to third is Arenado, and that'll bring up Ben Paulson.
Brewfest returns Saturday, September the 5th. Purchase the Brewfest ticket package to enjoy beers from over 15 regionally brewers, and vote for your favorite brewery to win tap space for April 2016.
On Paulson, and a line shot that's caught at second by Tomlinson. 2 outs. So that'll bring up the baby Bobolin Rosario. 2-run single in the first, and he grounded into a 6-4-3 double play that Got a run home in his third inning at bat. 4 in the first. Rockies did not score in the second. You know, they had a double from Cargo in that second inning. Got a run in the third. 4 more here in the fourth, up 9-2. They've out-hit San Francisco 13-4 already. Well, we get tacos, folks. The Rockies have hit the magic number of 7, so make sure you make your way to participating Taco Bell locations tomorrow between 4 and 6, as hopefully you did today. Get your Rockies taco special.
There's been a little drought on the 7-run ball games. Now all of a sudden you're getting the back-to-back days. Enjoy it.
That man's personally responsible for 11 runs.
Yeah.
His last 5 at bats, 4 home runs, a double, 11 ribbies.
Pretty good month.
Way inside on Willeen, 2-0. Two and 1. Nolan's at third. Everybody in the lineup with a hit, with the exception of Paulson. Ben reached on an error and just lined out a moment ago. Year of adjustments for Willeen Rosario. First base exclusively this year. Tonight his 71st game. 186 at bats coming in. 5 home runs, 22 ribbies. .269 average coming in. He's got it up to 271 with 1 for 2 so far tonight. And that hops over the mound. This is going to be a tough chance for Tomlinson. Willeen called out. And EY's kind of hanging out around the bag. Wants to wait. Have Brian Jones check it underneath. See if Willeen beat the throw. Let's take a look at it again. Out. Yeah, barely. So Tomlinson gets Rosario in the inning. The Rockies score 4 times. Cargo strikes again. Second home run of the night. Up. It's a whole lot of offense for the Rockies. Cargo's 3 for 3, 2 2-run home runs and a double. He's driven in 11 in his last 5 at bats. Willeen has a 2-run single. Charlie had an RBI triple get the picture. 9-2 Colorado. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Ryan Spilborghs as we go to the 5th inning. Juan Perez will lead it off against Chris Russin. Chris has had 3 1-2-3 innings. In the 3rd inning, he gave up a leadoff double to Perez, and then after getting Adrianza out, Ryan Vogelsong, of all people, hit a 2-run home run. Tim Hudson is now getting loose.
Well, I was wondering if maybe he was the long guy. And only for the purpose of that, and now he's getting his work in the bullpen. Could be that, or Hudson could be coming in. I looked at Contos has thrown 3 out of the last 4 ball games too. I mean, Hudson's firing up pretty quick. Chris done a nice job with the pitch count. 15, 8, 15, and 11 as he enters the 5th inning. How about that? 51 pitches, 1 out in the 5th. That's outstanding.
A little outside on Adrianza. Ground ball to short, easy play for Reyes. 2 outs. Tweet us your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag RMDataStrongFan, and we'll try to get you into an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. 2 outs. Andrew Susac, the catcher now for San Francisco, came in a double switch when Vogelsong was removed. And Susac takes strike 1. He's been scuffling with the bat, just 1 hit in his last 14 ABs. Tardy on that swing. Missed 26 games recently with a right thumb sprain. He's coming off the shelf in mid-August, 2 for 19. Strike 3. And another 1-2-3 inning. 4 out of 5 for Chris Russin. Rockies up 9-2. This is brought to you by the Ford Super Duty. Built better, built stronger, built Ford tough. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Rockies up 9-2 as they come up in the bottom of the 5th inning. Nick Hundley, Chris Russin, and then Charlie Blackmon. This has been an assault on the pitching staff of the Giants by the Rockies tonight. 4 in the 1st, a run in the 3rd, 4 more in the 4th. And you thought Carlos Gonzalez was good last night, driving in a career best 7. I guess he was just getting warmed up for tonight.
Well, and again, Hudson, this is not the first time for him to relieve. He's making his 19th appearance. He's made 17 starts. He's going to work out of the bullpen, and they hope he can get through a few innings here.
Nick tonight, a single and a ground ball to short. Cantos goes 1 inning, allows a run on 2 hits. He gave up the home run to Cargo. 3 of those runs last inning charged to Vogelsong, so he gives up 8 runs, 3+, 11 hits. And Nick hits it in the air to right. Marlon Byrd out there waiting. Well, Tim Lincecum had been working out of the bullpen into June, and then he got hit by a line drive, but he'd been dealing with hip issues. After seeing a couple of doctors, he went to Steadman Hawkins, a clinic in Vail, where they're renowned for a number of different orthopedic procedures, one being the hips, and they've obviously done, among others, A-Rod's hip. Today they did Tim Lincecum's hip. It was an arthroscopic surgery, and he is out for the rest of the year. Chris Russin went 0-1.
Well, he's battled at this hip/back with that big high leg kick and turn for the last 2 or 3 years, and they've done a lot of different procedures to get him through this, and it came to the point the surgery was the only way to fix it.
Bruce Bochy was asked by one of the beat writers who cover the Giants on a day-to-day basis if he'd welcome Lincecum back, and Bochy said, "I will always have a place for Tim Lincecum. All he's done for this organization and how he's gone about his business." Of course, Tim, not the same guy. Maybe the hip will help him out. He's not the same guy that won a couple of Cy Youngs. I mean, he was getting by on guts and guile. His fastball was used to sit in the mid-90s. It dropped down to the mid-80s.
88 to, he could get it to 88, 89 at times, but he was spinning it well. He pitched well in their ballpark, a fan favorite, 2-time Cy Young Award winner. A big part of the success of this organization since Bruce Bochy and Dave Righetti got there.
0-2 on Russin. And that's pulled foul.
I wish him the best. I know coming out of college, a lot of people said too short, too small, can't make it, blow out. He's not going to be in the big leagues very long. Over 2,000 innings in the big leagues now.
A couple of no-hitters, too. Hudson has to hurry, and he just does get Chris Russin at first. 2 outs.
Well, the Wives are having an online auction. It's going to go on from this Saturday. Excuse me, a charity auction. Currently, it started today. I apologize for that. So you can go to Rockies.com/wives to bid on the baskets during the autographed items from your favorite Rockies players and more. Time's running out, so get on there now. Bid ends on Saturday, September the 5th at midnight. There's the Boone Logan basket. I wonder if there's a hunting trip in there. You see that Cabela's hat in the back?
That doesn't surprise me.
No, not at all.
Boone likes the woods.
Texas kid.
Charlie takes a strike. Charlie is single in the first and a run scored. despite the dive by Posey. He would beat that, and then he pulled one down the line and didn't stop running until he got to third base. Charlie in last night's ball game, single, double, single. In the nightcap on Tuesday, he had a double. On Monday, he went single, triple, walk, double. So he just keeps throwing out extra base hits every night. 1-2. And that's strike 3. For the first time tonight, the Rockies set down in order. We'll go to the 6th inning. 9-2 Colorado. Well, there you go. Sunglasses and a glove. Wait for
a little batting practice shot. Yeah, nice work with the camera.
Yeah, very nice work. Wait for Rocky to pick that up. That's Nick Hundley's glove. 9-2 Rockies leading. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Ryan Spilborghs. Top of the order in the 6th inning for the Giants. Angel Pagan, Kelby Tomlinson, and Matt Duffy. And with the late arrival, if the Giants don't get anything going here in this inning against Russet, maybe one more, they'll start dumping out some guys to get them a little added rest for tomorrow night's encounter. The Giants have lost 5 straight. And on the road of late, they are 2-12. And the Giants just got done playing on the road the Cubs, the Cardinals, the Pirates, and the Dodgers. The rest of the way, they play only 4 games against a team with a winning record, and that's the last week of the season, their last 4 encounters with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Everybody else they play is below 500. Right now, one of those teams that's below 500
crushing
is having all the joy tonight, and that is the Rockies up 9-2. 2-0. Russet has been very efficient tonight. 15 pitches in the first, 8 in the second, 15 in the third, 11 in the fourth, 8 in the fifth. And he's fallen behind Pagan 3-0. With every challenged call, the Subaru Eyesight Review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. And that misses. The first walk of the ball game for Chris Russet. Russet has the Rockies' only complete game this year. Came a couple weeks ago and he shut out the Padres. Kelby Tomlinson's 1 for 2. Giants 5-11 their last 16 games. Began the day 6.5 behind the Dodgers, 6.5 behind the Cubs in the wild card. Back up the middle, and this is going to end up in short left field. That'll allow Pagan to go first to third. So Tomlinson's hit puts 2 on with nobody out for Matt Duffy.
Well, one hop line drive hit off of the back foot, the one that was on the ground, not the one up. You can see Chris Russell look in the air like, where to go? I got to find it. And it just shot over the head. I think, you know, whenever Jose made a move to second base to try to catch the baseball, just went over the top of his head. He'd shorten the distance up. Walt out to check on his pitcher. That's weird because I noticed both umpires, second base umpire Kerwin Danley and home plate umpire Pat Holberg, looked at Bochy and held up one finger as if it was a visit. There wasn't any medical staff. Keith Duggar didn't go to the mound with him. I don't know if they charged him with one or not. Hopefully he gets the double play, get out of the inning, get another out and get out of there, and it doesn't matter.
So here's Duffy, 0 for 2, fly ball to left, 6-4-3 double play. This may be another 6-4-3 double play. It will be. Pagan scores. The Rockies will gladly, with the big lead, trade 2 outs for a run. Nice play by Jose getting that started.
Anytime you can trade 1 pitch for 2 outs, it's a good night. Chris upset with that leadoff walk. A lot of times he was upset a little bit with Holberg. Here's the flip over to LeMahieu and then on to first. Who was the shortstop for the Phillies? They used to fire it underhanded.
Trio.
Yeah, and then the second baseman they had. Who was that guy? I can't remember. But yeah, they used to take that ball.
This is deep short. Reyes, as he was getting ready to make the transition to throw, had it pop out of his glove. They'll probably give Posey an infield hit because I don't know if he'd be able to. It'd have been a tough play.
Yeah, he should have got one. To be quite honest with you, I mean, it is all the way over in the hole. You got a guy that can run a little bit. It is a base hit. So it's a backhand all the way over into the hole, and he did as soon as he tried to make that exchange quickly. And Jose's got a strong arm. I don't know if it would have been strong enough here. It all came. The ball was fielded cleanly, but as it came out on the exchange, just popped out of the hand of Jose.
Yeah, Trio used to. You had to get down with Trio.
Well, he threw it underhand. He hits you right in the middle of the helmet. Of course, different time, different area. You guys like Bill Madlock that take you out into left field on the slide.
Boy, that was a cutter that got in on the kitchen and blew up Marlon Byrd's bat. That boy will be needing another Wong.
Yes, I will.
Kid Marlin Day, Georgia said, "You're like Juan Uribe. Every time a new team shows up, you're on it." You see Marlin a couple times this year. Uribe, we saw with the Giants, or excuse me, we saw with the Dodgers, we saw with the Braves, we saw with the Mets.
Yep. The Mets with the night off tonight. Washington is pounding Atlanta. They did 15-1.
Boy, Atlanta's in a
transition states. The new ballpark will open up 2017. They've made a tremendous amount of trades. Out of their first 31 picks in the draft, they drafted 24 pitchers. They try to rebuild the way they did the old days.
It's generally worked for them, hasn't it? Second inning, the Giants will be buoyed by this score. It's 2-0 San Diego over the Dodgers. This is looped to shallow center. This is going to be a tough play. Charlie lays out, makes the catch. Gorgeous catch, Charlie Blackmon.
Well, what a nice play. Chris Rushton appreciates the hustle of Charlie Blackmon, that's for sure.
wondered what the pre- and post-game team is doing? Well, we prepare as well in the lower press. There's Corey Sullivan, Jeff Houston. There's Tracy Ringolsby getting ready to write whatever report. And Jenny Kavanaugh. What do we do during this time? We're trying to figure out topicals, figure out the game, right?
Yeah, maybe we should have the fans figure out the topicals tonight.
So there you go. We're gonna have the fans.
Hey,
Spilly, that is such a BS segment right there.
Spilly,
because
I thought it was great.
That's a base hit by Jose Reyes.
You want to know why? Because you guys are normally having popcorn and chips and.
You're absolutely right, because I've never seen Jeff Houston actually Huey scores the game, but Corey Sullivan scores it too, right?
How many guys? Here's a quick question, Spilly, for you, Corey, and Huey. Obviously, I know Huey scores a game because he works up here every night. How many guys do you think in a big league clubhouse know how to score?
Huey, how many guys in big league clubhouse know how to score a game?
I would say maybe 5 guys total.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe 5.
I'm going to guess they're all pitchers because they've always had to chart, just like George Frazier. We should probably watch Cargo.
I never charted. I never had to chart. I was always in the bullpens, but it was great.
Yeah, let's watch Cargo, and then Spilly, I want to ask you a question. Hang tight. I want to ask you a question about your former teammate in a second.
You got it.
Inside. Cargo's last 5 at-bats, in case you've missed any of them. 4 home runs and a double. 11 RBIs. 4 runs scored. And a lot of thrown items in the visiting dugout.
No. Well, he has hit .292 with a home run against Hudson.
1 and 2. Base hit by Reyes. Jose's got a couple of knocks tonight, also a sac bunt. One time they got him out, it was on a line out to Posey at first. 9-3 Rockies as they hit in the bottom of the 6th.
You know what I want folks at home to do? And Spiller, you can chime in here in a minute, but I want you to take a bat, put it in your hand, raise your knee really high, and then see if you can glide like 1.5 foot holding your hands in place to kill a baseball.
I can't do it.
I mean, I can do it with a golf club.
If I did that, I was out. I mean, your head can't move that much.
Oh, Hudson, you ruined the whole party.
Cargo saying it was a foul ball. Is he going to win the argument? I don't think so. Nope. So he'll go off. He finally made it out. Time to sit him, I guess, if you want.
All right, you had to ask Spilly something. What were you going to ask him?
1 out. Nolan coming up. Spilly, there's hot, there's ridiculously hot, and then there's what Cargo's been doing.
That's called lava. Hot lava hot. Jenny, when we do topicals tonight, I got one for Cargo. Cargo's really good.
That's a really good topical.
Cargo's really good. Do you guys, what's hotter than hot? Cargo. See, there you go. Hotter than hot is Cargo. That's the new term. So you got hot, hotter, lava, and Cargo.
You know, I've said this before also. When you guys, as big league players, best league in the world, best players on the planet, and when you guys collectively have your jaws dropped by what one of your teammates can do, that maybe speaks to how amazing it is, more than any of us saying, wow, that boy, he's hot, right?
Typically, you'll see the guys' reactions. I mean, the guys' reactions up here on the 4th homer was what? You guys looked at each other. Corey made an ugly face. It's just, you're just not used to seeing that. And I think when you look at other teams, you look at the Giants' dugout, they just look at each other and they're like, I've never seen a guy swing the bat that well.
Ridiculous.
Well, guess what? They go home and tell everybody I did tonight. I saw somebody swing the bat that well. And he's put on a heck of a show, but the Rockies with 9 runs on 14 hits right now.
Spilly, thanks. And
go eat a hot
thank
dog.
you also for
now they're going to eat all their popcorn and put their shoes
now
on.
they can get back to normal.
had them on their best behavior.
Yeah, you did well.
Go back to doing your normal stuff, guys.
I knew it. 9-3 Rockies. Go to the top of the 7th inning. It's time for the Cooney Lexus look back. Colorado's #1 volume Lexus dealer. Well, let's just give you the last 24 hours for Carlos Gonzalez. 4 home runs, 11 RBIs.
It's been a show. There's no question. A wonderful show to watch. Oh boy, how about this one? When everybody in the dugout gets on their feet, wow, 4 home runs, 11 RBIs the last 2 days. It's a pretty good month for everybody else.
Listen, you know, you've seen, and we all have it, whether it was in your playing days, George, or up here as a broadcaster, we've all seen great runs. This day and a half is going to be one of the all-timers I've ever witnessed.
It's unbelievable to see the number of things that go up. I mean, I've seen some other stuff in baseball that, you know, Reggie Jackson's 3 home runs in 1978, you know, and it's in a World Series on the biggest stage. But stuff like this, it just, it's like storybook.
Yeah, Nori Aoki. I mean, listen, for anybody in the Giant family or fan that was at Game 7 and witnessed Madison Bumgarner's 5 innings.
Yeah.
That's an all-time performance.
After what he did the day before?
After what he did the day before, yes. So if you saw those two, you'll never forget it. And these 2 days for Cargo, and granted, it's not the World Series Game 6 and Game 7, but to see a guy come up in a span of 5 at-bats, hit 4 home runs and a rocket double, and drive in 11, and all meaningful home runs. I mean, grand slam turned the game around, which the Rockies were losing. The 2-run home run got the Rockies on the board in the first. Aoki fouls that off. Special stuff. It's why when you turn on the television to watch a sporting event live, it is truly reality television. The last bit of reality television. Russell misses 3 and 2.
You know, Drew and I were talking in between innings, and I was kind of like, I wonder when was the last time the most complete games by a starting pitcher for the Rockies in a season. Because Chris had one earlier, a shutout, 5-0, and here he is in the 7th inning, hadn't thrown very many pitches. So I looked that up. Amazing. Pedro Estacio had 7 in 1999. 7 complete games, 14 in his career. That leads it. Cody Hall's warming up down in the bullpen right now for the Giants after Tim Hudson gave him a couple of scoreless innings.
George, you think about this ball game before September. First of 4, you barge in here, and it could ruin you for the weekend.
Well, no, it ruins you for next week too. Not just this weekend. It's next weekend, next 3 or 4 days when you leave here. A lot of managers say that when they come in here. They all say, you know, you hope you get 2 out of 4 good starts, 2 out of 3 good starts, because if you blow your bullpen up, now you got to go on the road. And he said, you know, your first game out, you hope you have a Bumgarner or, you know, a Greinke or Kershaw, you know, is going to give you 7. Pretty much every time they go out there. It's very difficult.
And Aoki's gone. Russin with his 4th strikeout. That'll bring up Juan Perez. The day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. Take advantage of that tonight. Strike. It's like how Russin goes about his business. Plus, he's doing a good job of playing scoreboard. Pound in the zone, working very quickly. Double in the 3rd for Perez and a fly ball to Cargo. Nolan will cut this off. Two outs, and A-Ray Adrianza. He was in the starting lineup that was initially written out about 4 this afternoon by Bruce Bochy. But Bochy shared with the media around 5:15 that if Crawford warmed up well enough to play, he would put Crawford back in the lineup. But evidently Brandon, nursing that calf injury, wants to play, but still not well enough to go. He was hit with a pitch on his left calf on Saturday night. Didn't play yesterday. And obviously not playing tonight. Cargo in right field. Another 1-2-3 inning for Chris Russin in the 7th. He's rolling along. And the Rockies enjoying a 9-3 lead. With George Frazier and Ryan Spilborghs, I'm Drew Goodman. Time for our CenturyLink link to what's next. Pitching matchup tomorrow night here at 20th and Blake. Jorge De La Rosa for the Rockies in search of victory number 9. He'll be opposed by Chris Heston, the impressive rookie, 11-8, and owner of a no-hitter earlier this year. We're on the air with the pregame show at 6 o'clock. We invite you to join us then. New pitcher for the Giants is a man that's got all kinds of butterflies, I'm sure, right now. 27-year-old Cody Hall making his big league debut. And DJ LeMahieu steps in for Colorado.
Well, another one of those guys had the uniform on for a long time, and now he's kind of put it together and being rewarded for what he had done at the minor league level. And you love guys like this. Recall from Sacramento, went 1-3, 346 down there at 3 saves, 43 relief appearances, working in the 8th inning.
Works ahead, 2 strikes on DJ. DJ 2 for 3 tonight. Tim Hudson went 2 scoreless innings, allowed just 1 hit. He struck out 2. 19th round pick back in 2011 for San Francisco was Cody Hall.
Senior sign, but a guy that throws pretty hard. Nice pitch.
His first big league hitter. He gets a strikeout on an all-star. Oh, you know what? Excuse me.
You get 3.
Well, he had 2. I guess he foul tip.
Yeah. They've got a couple of guys down in the bullpen. This is one of them. Hard sinker inside. They'll get LeMahieu. The other guy, Broadway, he's been around a while. Getting another opportunity here at the big league level. He's taking advantage of it. The Godfather Barbecue, Johnny Triggs, will be making a special appearance at Coors Field on September the 4th. Come meet Johnny and sample some of his legendary ribs. He'll be at the ballpark tomorrow. Remember Danny Artois? Huh? You remember Danny Artois?
Sure. That's right.
And I remember. Yeah, I remember. And Mike Dejean was here. Of course, he's from Louisiana and watches shows from occasionally. So Mike, hello. But he talked Danny having a case of this sauce. It's called Slap Your Mama sauce. And I'm going to tell you what. You put a tip of that on your tongue, you need to call the fire department. It was unbelievable.
I'll pass on that.
Well, and they're in there making gumbo. Dejean was, and he's pouring a bottle of this in there. And I'm like, are you crazy?
I just remember Dejean in a clubhouse came up to me one day, and he, you know the story, right? Came up and he had this picture open, one of the hunting and fishing magazines, and he had like a 12-point buck. A picture of this beautiful buck, and he said, "You cut off my left pinky right now if I could shoot that."
Well,
I said, all right,
Mike actually has an indoor facility now down in Louisiana and doing quite well with it. His 3 sons are all playing. He's coaching.
Good man, Mike Dejean.
Doing well, doing really well.
0-1 on Rosario with 2 outs in the 7th. 2-run single in the 1st. The Rockies with a 4-run first against Ryan Vogelsong. Cody Hall, 4th pitcher used tonight by Bruce Bochy. I wonder if Willeen, in his time in Albuquerque this year, saw Cody Hall pitching for Sacramento. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs in the 7th. On the ground, deep in the hole, and Boline is safe. Wow. Pretty good play by Adrianza, even to make it a play. Infield hit.
Yes, it was. Holy cow, I thought that ball was into the outfield. I think Boline probably did too when he hit it. He's going to take off hard out of the box, but what a nice play. Came up from the backside and fired a bullet over to first base. Nice pick by Posey. And Boline gets by the bag about a half a step when the ball gets there. Well, maybe not a half a step then. Pretty close play.
Here's Hundley. Nick, a base hit in that first inning. Ground ball to short and fly ball to center field as well. Cody Hall out of Southern University, also spent a year at Baton Rouge Community College. So explain this to me, George. Born in Savannah, Georgia. Yeah. Obviously was raised in Louisiana. And he's a Minnesota Vikings fan.
Well, I mean, don't you have to either go to New Orleans Saints?
Who dat? You got
Miami Dolphins? I mean, don't you have to do something in the South?
I'm thinking if you're in Louisiana,
don't you have to?
And I've spent some time down in Louisiana, and they are crazy about their Saints. And well, they should be.
Well, he's probably got a relative that grabbed him as a young kid, got him one of those fancy jerseys, and said, "Hey," told him all about Fran Tarkenton.
Fran Tarkenton, Chuck Foreman, Purple People Eaters. 2-1 on Nick Hundley. Nick drives it to right center field. And it's dropped by Pagan. That's going to allow Hundley to move to second. So that'll be a single and an error on Pagan, I'm sure, because Nick was going to stop at first. And now officially it's an error on Pagan.
4th error of the season on Pagan, a very good sure-handed, typically sure-handed center fielder.
I really thought George was going to get some of those regulars off their feet this inning.
Well, I think kind of the 7th inning's the curtain call. Still 6 runs down. I think he's probably feeling like, you know what, we get to the 8th. Okay.
Maybe give it one more bat, knowing Coors Field.
Well,
I mean, you can put up a crooked number in a hurry.
Well, you got 9 is the catcher, Susac. Then you're right back to the top of the order again. Then you can make your changes. If you don't put 3 or 4 on the board, then make the changes.
This is good to see. Chris Russin getting 4 at bats. Held up. 2 RBIs out there for Russin. Sharp single and a run scored in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 3. Established himself this year as one of the top hitting pitchers in the league. 16 hits for the Rockies. This ball's loud to left field, but it's caught out there by Juan Perez. And that got caught up in the lights, obviously. So the Rockies leave 2 on. We'll go to the 8th. 9-3.
going to the top of the 8th. Little throwback Thursday last week, looking at Carlos Gonzalez's Twitter feed. He had the chance to meet Hammerin' Hank Aaron, arguably the greatest right-handed hitter in all of baseball. To me, the best home run hitter of all time, 755 home runs. Cargo said he got to chat with him a little bit. I wonder if he got a little bit of that magic Hammerin' Hank power. But I did a little research. So Cargo has 31 homers in the last 77 games with an OPS. That's an on-base plus slugging of 1,116. Hank Aaron in 1971, he had 47 homers at an OPS of 1,179. Cargo only has 584 more homers to catch him, so you got to keep working, Cargo.
You know, when you flash back and look at some of the numbers that the Aarons and the Mays and that ilk of player, well, there haven't been too many of those guys put up. It's mind-boggling. I'll tell you something else, Billy. Matt Duffy has one of the longest stretches going of consecutive games played. Duffy has started 89 games. Tonight was his 90th straight start, right? That's the 4th longest in baseball. We just celebrated Cal Ripken, the anniversary of Cal Ripken breaking Lou Gehrig's Ironman stretch, and then, you know, Cal went on for, what was it, 2,600 and some odd consecutive games. 4th longest is 80 games.
You're never going to see that broken. Johnny Vandermeer throwing 2 straight no-hitters, that'll never be broken because you got to throw 3. And no one's ever going to play that many straight games. It's impossible. This day and age and the way that the game is set up, you can't do it. It's impossible.
And you know what, Spilly, I don't think anybody will get more hits than Pete Rose because they're not going to play long enough.
You're right. There's no way.
And I don't buy into the deal with Suzuki and you're able to combine Japan with U.S. I don't buy that one.
Don't worry, I don't buy it either. I respect it. I do a kind Japanese bow to it, but I don't. It's Major League Baseball in my opinion.
Susak grounds out to Jose Reyes.
But you know, Spilly, it's hard for me and Drew will ask me questions. Is Nolan the best third baseman to ever play? It's hard because I played against Robinson. I played with Greg Nettles. I mean, I played with some great third basemen that are in the Hall of Fame, guys that are in the Hall of Fame and against, and I'm like, wow. You know, I think, is Nolan the best in this era so far? You know, Hammerin' Hank, all the years he played. I remember the first time I ever saw him walking out of the dugout in Atlanta. He had retired, but was still in uniform. And kind of a play for. He walked out. I walked out. He was standing behind the batting cage, and I was like, wow. I was at the Pi house when he hit his. Watching it on TV.
I mean, I agree with you 100%. I think it's so hard to compare players against generations. I think at times we do that to a fault. You want to compare a guy to a legend, a ghost. And I think it's better off if we just keep it. Is Nolan the best third baseman in the game of baseball right now?
Yes. Absolutely.
And I think that's a better argument, and it makes more sense. I mean, most people only see what's in front of them right at this moment. So I think it's easier for people to understand.
Here's what I would say about arguments between great players in different eras. Pagan hits it in the air to left center field. Charlie will make the play. Great in any era is great. But with all due respect to the guys that played, say, in the 20s and the 30s, we have learned so much about strength training, speed training, diet, taking care of the body, etc., that the athletes in the 21st century ought to be better athletes than the guys playing, say, in the first half of the 20th century. Now, maybe just physical gifts. There's guys who played that, 75 years ago that were as freakishly gifted, maybe as a Carlos Gonzalez or a Nolan Arenado with the glove.
Could you imagine Babe Ruth? Hey, you got to eat this. You got.
Well,
but the knowledge was the thing about it. You say freakish plays, freakish. I mean, Babe Ruth hit more home runs than his entire league.
Right.
1 year. More home runs than the whole league. Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy to mark.
I think last week, Mark Stout does a great thing where he went to the Roberto Clemente, and Cargo and Brandon Barnes had a chance to hold the 38-ounce bat that Roberto Clemente swung. And think about, George, how big were some of the bats that...
Well, Puckett swung a 36-36.
And that's insane. Nobody in this day and age of baseball is even coming close to
Well, they wouldn't even try it.
Yeah, but and let me say this, Billy, and I mean this honestly. Again, great was great in that era. But are you telling me with guys, the average fastball is 92.1 now, and half the league throws 98, it seems like. You're telling me, you just finished playing a short time ago. You're telling me if somebody gave you a 36-ounce, 36-inch bat, you could get it started against, you know, one of these guys throwing 98 out of the bullpen?
One of my favorite stories, I was in Visalia. Glenn Allen Hill was first-year hitting coach. Rolls up to me after going and seeing his family in Santa Clara or Santa Cruz and brings back all of his old bats. And he handed one to me. It was a 35-inch, 35-ounce bat and goes, swing this. And I remember the catcher for the Modesto Nuts sees this bat that I'm pulling up to the plate, and he's like, you're really going to swing this thing? And I was like, well, G. Hill told me to do it because it's going to teach me how to control my bat head. It took every ounce of my body to just swing that bat, but he's right. It did teach me something, but it didn't last very long.
Now, you know what's Billy? In 1978, I believe it was. Our AAA team, they wouldn't buy any bats, so I went to a little slugger and got everybody bats. Of course, I had Tommy here. I mean, we had 9 guys on our ball club, spent 10 years in the big leagues. And I said, biggest bat you ever had out of here? And he goes, 45-45 Babe Ruth. I said, I want one bigger. And he made me one, 46-46, and I got it at home. I'll bring it to you.
Russin strikes out Kelby Tomlinson. That conversation to be continued. I want to see that bat. 9-3 Rockies. Great job, Chris Russin. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com, and by Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price in sales and service guaranteed. Been a fun night at Coors Field in lower downtown Denver. Charlie Blackmon's going to lead it off. Second inning of work for Cody Hall, making his big league debut. Rocky's got a couple of hits off him in his first inning of work. Charlie takes a strike. Charlie a single in the first and a triple in the fourth that scored a run. His 52nd RBI. He's got the batting average up to 295, creeping up on 300. He's had about 3 foul balls and 1 fair ball right down that line tonight.
131 games he's played in. LeMahieu 127. Gonzalez 124 and Nolan 128. They go to the post every day. Even when Charlie didn't start the game, I mean, you know, you've got to have a bat in his hand ready to go. There's a pretty good chance you're going to do it. Might get in the ball game later. A lot of energy to play center field here at Coors Field because of the size of the outfield, the gaps you got to cover.
Hey, find the latest Albuquerque Isotopes jerseys, t-shirts, novelties, hats, much more at abqisotopes.com. We've sported some Albuquerque Isotopes hats recently. Proud AAA affiliate of the Colorado Rockies.
They're tied with Fresno right now, playing in Fresno, 2-2 at ball games in the fourth.
Final week of the AAA season. All
Final
the
week of
minor league
baseball,
season.
yeah.
And you know what? If you ever get a chance, and we have so many great Rockies fans, they travel when the Rockies are on the road. We see a lot of folks in every road city. If you get a chance, though, go out and check out some of the minor league affiliates. One of the first you should do is ride down to Albuquerque, down I-25. 6 hours. If you push it, you can do it less than that.
Go up to Grand Junction, watch the youngsters.
Go up to Grand Junction. That's a 4-hour ride. Beautiful stadium in both places.
Dickerson 1 for 2 in that ball game.
Corey on a rehab assignment. 3-2 on Charlie. And it's fouled off. You know, we had Jeff Bridich on earlier, the Rockies general manager, good enough to join us for about an inning and a half and covered a lot of topics. And Tyler Chatwood threw last night a couple of innings, and he was 93 to 96. Forget the line. Today, the most important thing is he showed up and he felt great.
Well, Keith Duggar told me this morning, he talked to Tyler after his outing. He said Arm felt great. He wanted to pitch again today. He will pitch again on the 7th, the last day of the season. I believe the Modesto Nuts play in Stockton, which is only 28 miles from Modesto.
Fly ball to left.
Hey, get your tickets now for Fan Appreciation Fireworks, courtesy of Great Clips, on Friday, September the 25th, after the Rockies take on the Los Angeles Dodgers. What? It doesn't matter the age. Stay at the ballpark. She doesn't have school tomorrow. Stay out all night. Dad's like, Mom's working. Let's go to the ballpark.
Right?
What'd you guys do tonight? She seems awfully tired. Oh, we just hung around the house and watched a little TV. Why does she have mustard stains on her shirt? Well, we had a hot dog. Oh, Mom's with her.
When the baby is really tired and sleeps
blowing
through the
kisses.
night.
Well, she's blowing kisses.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's
Look at
great.
her.
So that's a big one.
She's blowing kisses to Cargo, saying, hit another homer. Billy, you got some numbers on Cargo?
I do. You remember how we were talking about Cargo's 584 homers away from tying Hank Aaron?
Yep.
Well, here's some numbers for you. Through Hank Aaron's first 886 games and Cargo, Hank Aaron had 179 homers. Cargo has 171.
Wow.
How about that?
Good stat. I like that.
There is a pretty big difference, though. Age has a factor.
How old was Hank? 20?
26 years old. Cargo will turn 30 in October.
This is, and we'll see how it plays out, but this has been Cargo's second best season to 2010 when he was third in the MVP race and won a batting crown, hit 34 homers, just eclipsed that mark. This is an all-time high for him in home runs with 35. 1-2.
It was interesting talking to Nolan and Cargo today, and I asked Nolan, I was like, what did you see about Cargo that changed? And he said, to me, it was just watching his hands. He had so much movement with his hands before the pitch, and he's finally just calmed it down. So you can see he's resting it. The bat's not waving as fast or as hard as he was doing earlier in the season.
By the way, that was a fun piece. Cargo slices it the other way. That's a base hit.
He's got 3 hits to the left side, right?
Yeah, and that's, and Spilly, George makes a great point. I mean, he has the home run to right, but the other 3 hits were not only to left, I mean, they were within 20 feet of the left field line, so he's letting the ball get deep, isn't he?
Well, and you can see that. I mean, there's calm to his swing. There's not the rush, and I can understand what Nolan's talking about. The fast hands, the hands feel fast. That it translates to your bats. You feel sped up when you're holding the bat. You're waving it at a crazy rate, and I've done it before. And I'm sure, George, when you're on the mound, you can have a tempo that feels slow or fast. That it translates. It doesn't come off to the calmness that you need to have the confidence at the plate.
4-hit night for Cargo.
Personally, I felt it when I was swinging the bat, honestly, Billy.
How many at bats did you get? 8?
Something like that. I hit like 180. One year I hit 280.
How'd you get hit?
How'd you hit 280? There's no way you could hit 280. You had like 8 career at bats.
I'm telling you. Look it up. Yeah, it's 2 for 7 one year. I don't know what I was. I know that I got picked off. I got picked off the first time I got my first swing of the bat spill. I got a base hit to right, and I got picked off.
That's how you should do. You get into the dugout and get ready for the next inning.
I wasn't tired from running the bases.
Hey, Walt tells a story. His first time in the big leagues, he pinch ran and he promptly got picked off. Nolan high and deep left field. Take a good look. You won't see this one for long. 2-run home run, Nolan Arenado. He didn't want Cargo to get too far out in front. That's number 34. Boy, if they put on a show the last 24 hours.
Tried to throw a high fastball. Hauled in. He was going to throw. I'll just throw this ball right by him. I'm going to go up on an 0-2 pitch. I'm going to elevate the fastball. See him asking for it? Wasn't elevated. It was about thigh high.
They have put on a hitting show tonight. Wow. 11-3, 18 hits for the Rockies. That's 34 home runs, 102 RBIs. DJ said, hold on, we got hit number 19.
Spilly, this had to be, when you're in a dugout and you're in a game like this, contagious.
It is. No, it is. And you have to, if you're a guy like Ben Paulson, who I believe doesn't have the hit, you know, the guys are like, let's go. You're not going to get dinner tonight if you don't get a hit. Hey, George, I looked up your batting average. You were 2 for 7 in 1984.
There you go. See?
And you got caught stealing that year. So.
Well, you know the story behind that, don't you? Bobby Nanier was in the on-deck circle. There's 2 outs, and I was in first. And Don Zimmer gave me the steal sign. And I looked at Billy Williams is coaching first. I look and I go, he wants me to steal. He wants you to get thrown out. So I ran about halfway down, the ball's there, and I called timeout.
You know, I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you for a lot of things in life, but I'm really proud you actually knew the signals.
Oh, I knew the signals. I did.
We'll go back. Nolan and Cargo and Nolan, 11-3 Rockies. Chase the 27-year-old making his major league debut, Cody Hall. So now Mike Broadway is on.
And another one of those guys that had hung around, and got another opportunity this year, and it pitched well at times for the Giants. This is his 12th appearance. Only 11 innings thrown so far. Right-handers just 263. Lefties have swung it better, 360. Paulson, of course, left-handed at the plate.
And had a high-quality swing there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Spilly was discussing. Ben, the only man without a hit for the Rockies tonight. He did line out once. He's 0 for 4. Reached on an error in the 3rd inning. The 19 hits for the Rockies is a season high. Three hits for LeMahieu, 3 hits for Nolan, 4 hits for Cargo, 2 hits a sac bunt for Reyes, couple hits for Chuck Nasty, couple hits for Rosario, couple hits for Hundley. On the corner, 2-2.
Looking for a great deal? Get Coca-Cola value. Oh, MLB at Bat. I'm sorry. MLBatbat.com. You can go to that and get all your live scores, at bats. And you can do it on over 400 devices, so make sure you do that. Load it up. Here's a ground ball by Paulson over to second base.
That'll end the inning. The Rockies get 2 more on Nolan Arenado's 34th of the year. 102 RBIs, leading the National League.
And they are looking for another victory tonight against the San Francisco Giants. Coming up in the Toyota postgame show, we're going to talk Carfuego, the guy with 35 home runs leading the National League. But right behind him, Nolan Arenado. These two showstoppers the last 2 nights. Multi-home runs for Cargo back-to-back nights. Nolan Arenado not so bad himself. Plus, Rockin' Russin on the mound, ready for the top of the 9th. Can he have the complete game? Guys, we'll send it back to you for the finish, and we will see you right after baseball.
Jenny, a whole lot to talk about for you guys in a few minutes. 3 more outs. Chris Russin looking for that complete game. Kyle Parker's come in. Kyle's in left field. Brandon Barnes flips over to right. So Cargo is done. And Jose Reyes getting the last inning off also, as Christian Adames will take over at shortstop. And Chris Russin, 96 pitches in, looking for his 2nd complete game really in the last 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, the last 2.5 weeks. I mentioned early in the telecast, it was Pedro Estacio had 7 complete games in 1999 as a member of the Rockies. He had 14 in his career. That's the most by any Rockies pitcher.
Now, Chris Russin has really made a statement this year. 1-0. He has 10 quality starts. I'm not a huge fan of that term quality start, but when you pitch half your games at Coors Field, it is indicative of keeping your team in the game. And this team, with the offensive potential it has, I know to be good enough to get you some W's. Matt Duffy's behind 1 and 2. Just love how he goes about his business.
Well, and I said this earlier in telecast, he's kind of flappable. I mean, he doesn't really care what's going on in the game. I mean, he cares, don't get me wrong, but I mean, he doesn't get shook up by a couple of base hits.
Yep. That's a good cutter. Duffy tonight, 0 for 3.
Is it time for the quick pitch on a 1-2 count? Yep.
There it is. And it's a ground ball to second.
I love it.
Yeah. And you know, we use the term quick pitch. It's really abbreviated pitch. It's one thing if you step in the box and the guy all of a sudden delivers, and then it's shame on the umpire for not.
He just speeds up his delivery.
Right. That's a quick pitch that is borderline. I don't know. It's not a dirty play, but it's a little bit unethical.
Well,
but the guys are both ready. This is a different type of quick pitch, if you will.
Right. I mean, he's sitting there, and you see him. He takes a nice deep breath, like, okay, and then wham, here it comes.
This is lined by Posey to right, and Barnes. And that's the third guy tonight that has had to deal with the bank of lights.
Yep.
Happened earlier to Juan Perez.
You get a ball on the line like this, and then what it does, and that ball just stays in, and you're hoping you're in the right location, waiting for it to pop out of there. And Barnesy does a good job with it.
Marlon Byrd with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Byrd struck out. And a good at bat against Clayton Kershaw on the 132nd delivery by Kershaw. Tied his career best with 15 strikeouts. And this should do it. Throw to first. Out there. Complete game for Chris Rusin. What an opening performance for the Rockies in this 4-game set with the Giants. They just handed the Giants their 6th consecutive loss. Carlos Gonzalez, Nolan Arenado leading the way offensively. The Rockies pound out a season-high 19 hits in winning 11-3. Smiles all around. Cargo 4 home runs in his last 2 nights. Nolan Arenado has tied a club record. He has hit a home run in 4 straight ball games. Last Rocky to do that, Josh Rutledge a couple of years ago. And that man with his 2nd complete game performance of the year. Time for our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. A lot of choices, but we're going to go with the guy who tossed a gem tonight. And it started out with a hard slider, a strikeout of Angel Pagan. Pounded the strike zone throughout, and he had 6 1-2-3 innings in the ballgame. Is that any good?
Well, I tell you, exciting day. Actually, offense, and then also with Rusin on the mound. It's a fun night to watch this game.
Let me correct that. He had 7 1-2-3 innings. 7 1-2-3 innings for Chris Rusin tonight. Job well done.
Hey, by the way, Huey's headed up here in a couple of days to get into that Hall of Fame in Wyoming, and we'll have to send it out to center field. And Huey, take it away, buddy.
Yeah, Huey,
Thank you,
away.
Georgie. I appreciate it. Well, what a game it was tonight. Rockies come out. Go ahead and say it. Talk about the Giants.
Bye, Giants. I can't do it yet. Can't do it yet. But wow, the Rockies won a game, complete game from Chris Rusin. You have your big boppers come out strong.
First 5 hitters, 14 total hits. 18 hits last night, 19 tonight. Pretty impressive.
Plenty of offense to get to. We'll be right back.